Hello there, welcome everybody. It's Diorama Don here yet again. In this video I will show you how I went about making jerry cans and oil drums with the intention of making a diorama in the next video, not this one, making an oil dump diorama. So for this video it's how I went about making these drums and cans. So let's get before we go any further, please subscribe and like. You know it makes sense, costs no money, and you will be informed when new videos come along. So let's get on with this video and show you how I went about making them. So we'll start off with the jerry can. Again, I'm using 2mm thick cardboard. It will need to be 2mm thick. Anything thinner than that, it's going to make for a lot of work, because you're going to need 3 of them stuck together to make up one jerry can, and it's very difficult cutting the hole for the handle. So it's up to you. You could use 1mm thick cardboard, but then you'd have to cut six pieces to make up one jerry can. So if you use 2mm, you only need, well, I say only, you need three pieces of card stuck together to make up the thickness. So with 2mm, I cut 2 12mm by 18mm, or 1/2 inch by what is that, 11/16, just under 3/4. So 1/2 inch by 11/16. Now that is huge. it's a very big size. If you look at the nominal or standards dimensions of a World War II jerry can, it should be only 5mm thick and 10mm by 13mm. But because we're dealing with such small sizes, it's got to be a little bit bigger to be able to manipulate what we need to do. So although it is fractionally bigger than a 1/35 scale, I don't think anybody's going to know. If you don't tell them, I won't. Okay, so we've got loads of pieces of card, the right size, 1/2 inch by 11/16. So you need a thin piece of card, very thin piece of card, but reasonably robust, cut to the same size. But then go to Google and Google World War II jerry can, and you will see plenty of them. So what you need to do is draw what you see. There's the front part there going down at a fairly steep angle. Then coming up for the handle is at a slight angle there, and then you'll see the shape of the handle. So that's what you need to draw from a picture. I mean, I can't give you the dimensions. It would be far too complicated for me to go over that. As long as you've got the main structures, main size, length and width, and then you must draw what you see. Okay, so then you put it on a piece of card, one of your pieces of card, and you can draw around and make the size you need. I've forgotten my pencil, hang on. As if by magic, I've got my pencil. So place the thin card over the 2mm card and just mark out that shape and the inside of the handle. So you've got that on each of the pieces of card. I'm making 10 jerry cans, so I've got 30 pieces of card. So I've had to cut out 30 of these. Mind-numbing. So this Oi, that's it. This part is easy enough to cut that out and then that out. Well, I say easy. There we go, that's better. So we've got that shape, but then the most difficult part is cutting that handle out. You won't be able to cut. All you can do is stab. So you just with an extraordinarily sharp knife, push it through the cardboard, and that's all you can do. You can't go anywhere with it. So I'll try to do one. So I'm just stabbing it in, and then turn it round and oh dear me, and then do the other end of what you've cut. Ah, that scared you. It scared the shit out of me. I thought I'd lost a finger. Okay, and then all you can do for these small pieces is the very tip of your blade. Just push that in. Bloody knife. That's supposed to lock. It's not locking. Like that. Turn it around. Or you could go out and buy them. That's it. Now, if you're lucky, with a sharp stick, you should be able to push that out like that. Okay. So, please, very careful. It's not easy to do, but if you're doing 30, it gets easier as you go along. The first few are difficult, but then it gets easier, honestly. So when you've got these, oh dear me, glue 3 together. Okay, PVA glue and weight, or hot melt glue straight away. I use hot melt glue, it does it immediately. So you've got 3 stuck together, and you can see through just about the handle. Now it looks a bit rough like that, I understand. So what you need to do is very, very carefully again, because we're talking very, very small pieces, cut a chamfer on the sides and the bottom like that. Go all the way around with the sharp knife. Then with a piece of sandpaper, sand those chamfers into a radius, round them off. It's still straight at the back, but just a bit of a radius on the edge. And if you are very careful, you can end up with a very convincing looking jerry can like that. So I've rounded it off. It only takes a minute or two to do. Then in the middle we need a cross. So mark out what might be the square at the bottom of the can, and then mark out the diagonals like that. And then using another one as a rest, this is going to be damned impossible. Cut out. Just talk amongst yourselves. Alright, that's it. And then you can cut out any debris that's left in there. I won't do the other side, but that's what it can look like. So you need to cut out a groove, if you like, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, cut out the piece in the middle, and then shape it with a sharp stick. Okay, it takes a little bit of time, but once you've done one or two, it becomes obviously becomes easier, and it looks quite convincing, I think, as a jerry can. And of course, one isn't much good alone. You will need to make quite a few to make an impression, if you like. So I'll go ahead and put the rest of my 9 others together, and they should be ready for painting. Okay, so I'll go ahead and finish them off and come back. So I finished off my jerry cans, gave them a coat of silver. They need to be weathered a little bit more now, but I'll do that later. I don't think that they would be rusty at the time of their use, given what was in them and all the oil and everything all around. I don't think they would rust at that time. Years later, when you find old ones, of course, yeah. But anyway, I forgot to say about the spout. So I got a barbecue stick, great big long barbecue stick, and then right on the very end, I'm not going to be able to do this, not looking over the camera, but for about 16, no, maybe not quite so much as an 1/8 of an inch from the end, roll that, and you will get that cut off the end. So with that stuck on the end there, then that makes a convincing looking spout, which I will use on the oil cans as well. Okay, so they're the jerry cans, which I need to finish off yet, put to one side. Now the oil drums, for a convincing scale, 1/35 scale oil drum, they need to be 5/8 diameter and 1 inch high. So whatever 5/8 is, 25 millimeters high. Can't remember what 5/8 is. 16 mil, something like that. So I've got this 5/8 diameter piping, plastic piping, and then cut them off at 1 inch lengths. I'm only going to do, well, I've got eight altogether. So, yeah, when you've got those, then a bit of hot melt glue around the edge, like so, and then a piece of very thin card. Only needs to be about probably 1/2 mil thick, very, very thin, pliable card. And once the hot melt glue is on there, then just plonk it on there, give it a second, and then cut round until you've got that. You may need to sand all the slight straight edges off, but it'll give a perfect circle. So do that both ends. So you've got cardboard on both ends. Then with a piece of that same thin card, 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters wide, and the length enough to go around the circumference. So put a blob of hot melt glue in the middle, and then hold it just slightly higher than the side of the can, like that, just to give it that lip. Then put another blob on the end there and bring that round. That will stick there. And then another blob there, and then bring that round. And that will give you that. So you'll have that effect. Then what you do, get a balloon, If you can get really small elastic bands, I suppose that would be as well, or the same kind of thing. But the end of a balloon here is rounded, which is the shape that we're after, really. So if you put a balloon on there and cut round like that, whip that off, take that off there, put that on there, and you've got the shape of an oil drum, like that. And you've also got the guide from the cardboard as to where it is. So put 2 of those on. Like that. And then with another piece of card, the same distance, whatever that distance is, it should be about 3/8 of an inch. Then do the same with that around there, like that. That way around. It's a bit fiddly, but it is doable. So it'll be like that. And that's pretty much oil canish, oil drum-ish, the right kind of shape. Okay, so when that is done, then the same thing, and a bung, and the top like that. There should be 2, I suppose, one to let the air in, so you can pump the other side out, but I shall only put 1 in. So 1 bung on the top there, and then spray them accordingly. I just use aerosol sprays, car touch-up aerosol sprays. So I'll finish off my 8 and spray them, and then come back and see what we need to do then. Okay. So there we are. I finished my jerry cans and oil drums. I painted them silver first, and then gave them a haze of black just to darken them down a little bit, and then a dry brush with burnt umber. So that's the effect I got, but obviously you can paint them whatever colour you like. The whole point is how I made them, and they cost nothing to make. Just a square foot of 2mm cardboard, that's all, and a little bit of time. So jerry cans and oil cans, my version anyway. In the next video I will make a diorama for them to fit into, so it'll be a fuel dump with a tank filling up with fuel, and there'll be a larger tank of fuel along with my oil drums and jerry cans. So please stay tuned for the next episode. If you've liked this video, please subscribe and click that like button, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, as always, happy modelling.